It's Tony season, and today we are talking about what it's like to be an actor during Tony season. Welcome back to 32 Bar Cut Broadway Banter. I am Adrienne Walker.
I'm Austin Cook.
And today we're going to talk about the Tonys. We're actually recording this the morning of the Tonys 2023. And we just want to chat about what it's been like for Austin and what he's observed and the shows we've seen, or mostly the shows I've seen, and just chat about Tony season. So let's get into it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I am assistant music director in keyboard one, and I play piano basically, in Some Like It Hot. So I've been doing Some Like It Hot for a long time, a lot of development, a lot of workshops, blah, blah, blah. Since we've been doing this channel, I've been working on that show. Well, it's finally open. It's thing. Everybody loves it. It's great. Yeah. It's an awesome show. Nominated for Best Musical and a bunch of other things. So it's been crazy. So I'm doing Some Like It Hot right now. And then in the past, Adrienne has also done a bunch of Tony stuff when she was in Kiss Me Kate, the revival. Mm-hmm. So we have a little bit of experience we wanted to share with you on what in the world the Tonys are for actors, for musicians, for everybody involved. What happens? How does it work? Yeah. So we can just give you a little insight into
It's a crazy 5 weeks. So the shows all open, throughout the season, and everyone goes and sees them, and then they make their nominations. So the nominations come out in May, and then it's a race to the finish. It's 5 weeks of the shows being on lockdown. As far as the actors, the musicians, everyone that is a part of the show needs to show up every single show, and it's a lot of pressure to do your best. Already as an actor, I feel like there's pressure to do your best, but then when you get that Tony nomination for Best Musical or, Best Actor or Actress or Featured Actor or Actress, then the pressure is on to follow through and to show up for your show. So
yeah, mostly just to be there. That's the most pressure. Is normally, in these Broadway runs, you can call out on some matinees, or you're vocally fatigued, you get a little tired, especially some of the lead actors that have this crazy amount of roles to do, and the dancers too. But man, once you get that nomination, you feel this immense pressure, like you're letting the show down if you're not there. Because you want the show to succeed and you want yourself to succeed, and it's just unbelievable because you're not only doing all those shows, which we already know from this channel is a lot, but you have to do all the press, and there's a lot of press. The other day I was doing a dance rehearsal last week, and Jay Harrison G, if you don't know Jay is just unbelievably amazing and plays the role of Daphne in Some Like It Hot, nominated for principal
Best Lead Actor in a Musical.
Yeah, actor.
Alongside his co-star, Christian Borle.
Yeah, co-star Christian Borle, who also is amazing. But anyway, Jay came in, and we're doing rehearsals for some of the swings, and Jay's looking fabulous as always. And we said, Jay, how you doing? He's like, I just got done. I got done with 3 interviews this morning, and then I have another. I'm about to go do a phone call, and then I've got to go do it over here. And that was all before the show that night. It's unbelievable. And they have been doing that every day, so it's crazy.
And with every interview, you want to go in shining. You want to be clear-headed and be able to answer the questions in a very calm and concise way, and an excited way too, because you're selling your show every time you interview.
Yeah. Now, how does it work? Like, how do you get the Tony nominations? Well, there's about 1,000. I think it's a little under 1,000 Tony voters that vote, right? So in the winter, sometime, February, March, April, sometime in there. I don't know the exacts, but they have to come see the shows, right? And then they don't have to see all of them, but they have to see. There's some kind of percentage or somehow this works. And then they cast their votes, and then the nominations come out, like you say, in May, and then the Tony voters have to go see the ones that were nominated, and then they cast their votes by the deadline, I think was Friday of this past week. So kind of right before they have a deadline, and then they cast their vote. And there's about 1,000 voters. Now, who are these people? How do you become a Tony voter?
We don't know that.
Well, the Tony voters are all industry people, so they're all like theater producers, designers, actors, people all over in the industry. It's not just people in New York; they can be from all over, and it's kind of a smattering of insiders, theater people?
Yeah, I got a chance to go to a show with my friend who is a Tony voter. And so that was a really cool experience. She came into town and she had a date, but I was plan B. So I got a chance to be her date that night and we saw Shucked. And we had great seats. So that is a perk to being a Tony voter. You get a great seat and they treat you really well. And
course.
You get to sit down, relax and see the show. And I really enjoyed that experience. And I told her I would be her date anytime.
Yeah, please. Can I go to the show with the Tony voter? Well, you know what's funny about this season is that inevitably, because I was locked down doing Some Like It Hot, it's the same for musicians. Someday I'll have a channel for musicians out there that want to know Broadway specifically for musicians. We talk pretty much about acting and that side of things, but there's a whole nother world for the musicians, my friends. Anyway, but we were on lockdown, so I didn't get to see a lot of these shows because I was just like so involved with the show. But Adrienne got to see the show, so we thought we'd give you a little, synopsis or a little bit of your thoughts of some of these hit shows that are nominated.
Thoughts. I have my playbills
Spoiler
here.
alert. Now, we're not going to say spoilers to the plot, but, some people don't like to know anything. They don't like to know anything about the show. They don't want to know even who's in the show. Some people
Yeah,
like
that is true. That's fair. So if you're that person, please stop watching because there will be spoilers. I am going to talk freely about these shows. This is an unscripted Broadway banter thing, so who knows what I'm going to say.
And real quick before we get into that, we just want to again talk about, since I've been seeing a lot of signups for our academy that we launched, the 32 Bar Cut Academy, where there's a full course where we talk about how to audition, what to put in your audition book. It's a full 16-hour course. We just launched. So I just wanted to put a quick plug for that. Thank you for all of you who have signed up. And we hope to see the rest of you there. 32barcut.com/academy.
Yeah, if you really want to up your audition game, if you want to demystify the musical theater audition, this is the course for
We talk about all of it. If you want to understand musical theater auditions on this level and every level.
Yeah. We talk a lot about this on the channel, but this is just a very thorough course for you. Okay, so I have all my playbills here, and I wish that I got a chance to see everything, but it starts to get pricey after a while, and so I had to say no to some shows. But so let's start with our darling of the season, Austin's show, Some Like It Hot. So what I love about Some Like It Hot is that it really brings you back to that traditional golden age theater, but they've incorporated fresh themes that are relevant for today and that are they're gonna have people leaving the theater thinking about these themes. And I love that. Jay recently did an interview where Jay said that one of the security guards came to see the show and afterwards said to his wife or his date, "I'm going to treat my son better." And I loved hearing that because it was something about Daphne, something about her journey, the journey that Jay portrays, that really stuck with that audience member. And this is a person that sees Jay every day when they come into the security. So
yeah, Jay is just so fabulous. I'm really, my fingers are crossed for Jay to win tonight.
Yeah.
But Jay is just an amazing human being, classy, absolutely wonderful. To be around, kind, gracious to everyone working at the theater and outside the theater. Jay is just an all-around amazing talent and a good person. So you always love people like that to succeed.
There's lots of tap. There's lots of fun, singable music. You leave the theater feeling good. There's lots of laughter. So it's just a very fun, upbeat show. I was very happy with all of the nominations that they received. 13 nominations. The most of the season. And so...
Crazy. So real quick, I got to give a shout out. Since I work on the show, I got to shout out, of course, to Kevin D'Aguila, who was absolutely amazing, nominated. Natasha, who was also amazing, who plays Sweet Sue. Christian Borle, we already talked about, amazing. All these people are just wonderful people. Jay. And then, of course, our costumes, our scenic our orchestrations. Shout out to the orchestrators who I get to play music every night. We love them, Charlie Rosen and Brian Carter. And then, of course, Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. The music's nominated. The director, Casey Nicolau.
Yeah.
I mean, the book's nominated. Amber Ruffin and Matthew Lopez. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So shout out to all those people who have done amazing work.
And this is, I would like to say, the opening night playbill. So that was exciting, too.
Yeah, exciting. You get a special sticker, by the way. That, I don't know if you guys knew that. Whenever you go to a first preview or an opening night, you get a special sticker to document your playbill.
So then I got a chance to see & Juliet, which is a very different type of show than Some Like It Hot. This is a show where you're taking common popular music and you're putting it into the show and making it fit into the show. So it was very much like a dance party. They want you to get up and dance. They want you to enjoy the show. The story, spoiler alert, the story is about Juliet and what she would do if she didn't kill herself after she found Romeo dead. And then that's all I will say, because she goes on all this whole journey and it's not worth spoiling the whole thing for you. But it was a very fun show. It was sung very well. It had a lot of comedy to it and some heart as well. So
it's a good time. I mean, people talk about this show as a good time. If you want like pop, upbeat, like cool tunes, you know, it's a good time. Kind of like Moulin Rouge of past season. It's like a party.
Yeah. Very similar to Moulin Rouge, but more for the teens.
Yeah.
I think the themes are more teen friendly.
Yeah.
Kimberly Akimbo.
Ooh, Kimberly Akimbo, another darling of the season. This is a front runner for Best Musical tonight. And this is music by Janine Tesori, one of my favorite composers right now living. She's incredible.
I thought that this show had a lot of heart, and I thought that it was a very interesting concept, an interesting show, a look into a different way of living, a different way of being. And so who knows what will happen? I have no idea. I know my pick is Some Like It Hot. I'm biased, completely biased. I've seen the show 4 times. I love it. So I'm really biased about that.
Yeah, so giving you guys a little bit of the analysis, Kimberly Akimbo is kind of the boutique pick this year. It's a very small, it's only 9. It's a small band too, so it's kind of every year there's kind of always like a smaller ensemble kind of a show. Yeah. Like when Once won, that was a big upset because Once was a smaller kind of show.
I love Once though.
Oh yeah, and I love it too. So Kimberly Akimbo is kind of that pick this year. It's a smaller, artistic, heartfelt story.
Who knows who will win?
And then the other best musicals are big. So you have like Shucked is a comedy, big comedy, and same with Something Like That.
New York, New York.
What's next?
Next is Shucked, actually.
Shucked.
So that's the show I got to see with my friend. I really enjoyed it. It is full of puns, and I love puns. So I really enjoyed the book of Shucked. I think it's got a good chance as far as book is concerned, but it's fun, and it doesn't have too many big dance numbers or anything like that, but it is just a really fun, kind of quirky, off the beat type of show.
Yeah, and it features a performance by one of our favorites, Alex Newell.
Alex Newell.
And Alex is incredible if you don't know.
Alex shuts the house down, and I would expect nothing less.
Yes.
Such a talent, such an incredible range. Like, I'm always shocked by what Alex can sing. I really enjoyed their performance in Shucked, and I thought that the character was really strong, and I loved the bond that the two cousins had, Lulu and Maisie. They had this bond, and they sang like this really beautiful duet that was fun, and I was humming it during intermission, so I really enjoyed that. Or not intermission, after the show. I was humming it after the show, but there's a lot of fun shows this season. It was worth it to go see them all.
It's a great season. Broadway's back, and I have to tell you that since we live here and we're here all the time, that the audiences, what was I say? The tourists, the crowds,
the tourism
are
is
back to normal.
The tourism is back.
Crazy.
Times Square is crazy, like it always has.
The ticket sales aren't quite where they were pre-pandemic, but it's getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Next.
New York, New York.
New York.
Did not see this post-opening. I saw a preview of New York, New York. So actually, I did speak with one of the cast members who I did Kiss Me Kate with, and she said that they have made some changes. So I will just say that overall, this type of show really made me feel it gave a sense of nostalgia for old New York, for 1940s New York. It gives you that kind of appeal. And of course, there's a love story. And then Colton Ryan does a show-stopping number where he plays several instruments. I know there's an interview somewhere where he talks about how many instruments he plays, but he's like picking up a harmonica, a banjo, a piano, a guitar. Like he just picks up, I think, a trombone or something at some point. So that was a fun moment in the show. And if you love classic, classic jazz and classic old school 1940s music, like Ella Fitzgerald, then you will enjoy this show. And there's lots of dancing, lots of big dance numbers in this show, lots of beautiful dance numbers in this show.
Yeah, New York, New York. If you want to have a classic kind of big Broadway time, New York, New York. And that's Kander and Ebb. And it has a little bit of new material from, I guess, Lin-Manuel Miranda also, or new lyrics or something. He partnered a little bit. But I haven't seen the show yet, so I haven't seen all of his
I know
influence.
Austin doesn't get to see all these shows, and he's really, I feel like you're really well versed in all of the people and all of the names and the composers and stuff. Where I'm just like, do I like it or do I hate it? Like, do I love it? That's really how I'm walking into it.
Yeah, it's funny. I know the people like working on them and like working, but I haven't gotten to see them yet.
Yeah. Right. So we were going to get into what it's like for the actors during the Tony season. So let's talk a little bit about that. So after you've gotten your Tony nominations for your show and you're performing and everything, the week of or the weeks leading up to it, you've got to get ready for the Tony performance. So your show is going to pick what song your show is going to perform, and then you'll do some pre-recordings and stuff.
Who performs at the Tonys? Good question. The performances are always going to be the best musical nominations. So there's usually like 5-ish. So I think there's 5 this year.
Yep.
Is that right? 5.
Yeah, there's 5 this year.
And then also the best revival musicals will perform. So
that's 2.
Oh, is it 2? What? Well, we got Sweeney, we got Parade will perform. Into the Woods. Are they gonna perform?
Into the Woods. I don't know if Into the Woods is going to perform.
Anyway, so then you have best revivals, and then also you might have another additional performance or 2. Like I know this year, Funny Girl's going to perform. So Leah Michelle is going to perform.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
But anyway. So you have those performances, and this year is particularly unique because of the writers' strike.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about in another video. It's a whole thing. But because of the writers' strike, there can't be those pre-scripted. Normally on Tonys there's like comedy bits.
Yeah, and like a teleprompter and everything.
It's not going to be that this year, so they're doing a few more just performances instead, and just the winner or the nominees are and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So we're actually, it's kind of a mystery to us how that will play out. And so we'll be watching it live with you tonight and experiencing that for the first time.
It's going to be
What
crazy.
are the Tonys like without writers? Writers are instrumental in our business. So
you get those nominations, you're preparing for your performance, so then you're in rehearsals. So you'll have a rehearsal to prepare for not just like what you're going to do in the show. Now, let me give you a little behind the scenes. So in the instance of our show, I can't tell you what number we're performing yet, but we're performing a number that, and you have to remember that you want to feature everybody who's nominated. So if you have a particular number that doesn't have one of your nominated actors in it, you're not going to do that number. You have to do a number that has everybody. Well, maybe that doesn't exist in the show, so you might have to work them into a number that already exists. A little hint. So you have to work in your actors and make sure you're featuring everybody. So because of that, you need rehearsal. So it's a little bit different from the show. So you have those rehearsals. Later, maybe a couple weeks later, after those initial rehearsals, you will, first the band will go into recording. So I got to record with the Tony Band.
He's performing tonight.
not everybody gets to perform with the Tony Band, just being in the orchestra, but sometimes they pick and choose a particular musician that they need. Because it's a difficult whatever. But anyway, so I got to perform with the Tony Band, so that was super exciting. And then we recorded, and then the next week, that was last week, so that was 2 weeks ago I recorded. And then the next week, the actors record. So they record their little sizzles tracks or the outros to things, or they record the performance itself for backup cases.
It's important for them to grab these recordings because a television broadcast is just so much different from a live show. So when you do go to attend these shows, it is live. You're not getting canned vocals and canned music. You're getting the live performances. But for something like the Today Show or for the Tonys tonight, there is going to be some recorded vocals and recorded music.
Yeah, like we recorded a long time ago some of the songs for media, way before the show was even in rehearsals. The band recorded some tracks.
Those arrangements,
and those are the ones they use for media. You know, they always use the same tracks for media purposes, but not the Tonys. The Tonys has its own special recording sessions. It has its own live orchestra. My good friend Sean McDaniel, drummer, is also the drummer for the live band tonight, and he's amazing. So that's a lot of fun. He already is over there. They're over there now in AM. Yeah. They already started rehearsals.
Well, yeah, and we're gonna get to that to the day of too. But I was also gonna share with y'all that what Austin was saying about them choosing a song that kind of highlights everybody that's nominated is they'll also make sure that they get where they want to put the cameras in that moment too. So the rehearsal that you'll do the week of the Tonys isn't just to rehearse this new version of the song, but it's also to find out and to communicate with the Tony production where you want the camera to go. So your choreographer or your director will come in and they'll say, hey, we want the camera here at this moment, here at this moment, here at that moment. I remember when we did the Tonys for Kiss Me Kate in 2019, we did Too Darn Hot. And Kelly, who was nominated that year, introduced us, so that was her contribution to it. But Too Darn Hot was so smoking, that's the one that they wanted to do. Warren Carlisle was nominated that year, and he wanted to show off that number. So we did Too Darn Hot, and in the show, that number is 10 minutes long. So we had to change that drastically down to, I think it ended up being like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes in the actual performance. So that's something to wrap your head around too as an actor, is that you're not going to do the same thing you do every night. You've got to be so caffeinated and ready and focused to do the new thing that you're going to do.
That's right. Even in what we're doing tonight, they cut like a bar here and a bar here, and like just because they have to get a certain time limit, so it's weird to hear the number like slightly different.
So the day of the Tony, so leading up, you've done your recordings, you've rehearsed the new version.
Oh yeah, I was going to say what you were talking about, camera blocking, they call that. So you had camera blocking rehearsal this week where they do it.
And that's really fun. Camera blocking rehearsal is super fun because everyone that is going to perform at the Tonys is there in the building at the same time. So you're like, just socializing with everyone, meeting new people for the first time.
It's my worst nightmare.
I actually really enjoyed it. I was standing next to Patrick Page, and I just enjoyed listening to his super bass voice the whole time.
That's incredible, Patrick. That reminds me, because the other day we did that media event. We did a Ham for Ham the other day, and I told Adrienne, I said, I'm standing next to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel's here. Jason Robert Brown is right next to him. Mark Shaman's next to him. All these guys. Alex Newell's over here. Jay here's. It's just those kind of things just freak you out, because like we're just normal people, my friends. You know this. This is us. But then you go to these things and you're like, wait a second, I'm in this business. I'm playing this. I'm like with all these people. This is crazy. Yeah. This is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You got to savor it. Like it's my friend Sherry said, you got to relish. You got to relish in these moments and take it in. And
you'll be there too someday.
You're there for a reason,
That's right. So the day of.
So the day of. Okay, so every show is different. All shows are not created equal. Some shows will perform their show today and also perform at the Tonys. Austin's show, thank God, they gave them the day off. So all they will have to do is their Tony performance today and then enjoy themselves after.
Yeah.
But that's still no small feat. They had to wake up early this morning. They probably had some god-awful call time. I remember when I did it, our call time was like 6 a.m. or something. And I ended up staying downtown. God bless Kelly O'Hara. She let me stay in the apartment with her. And I was able to just like take a little car over to the theater. But so early call time, and I kid you not, you show up to your theater, you put on all your makeup, your costumes, everything. You get show ready at the butt crack of dawn. You bust out to the venue. Now, a few years ago, it was at Radio City Music Hall. Now it is at
the Wonder Theater.
The Wonder
up
Theater.
In Harlem.
In Harlem,
it's way up there. They're saving money.
Yeah. And then I think they had some management changes.
I hope I didn't make that up. I'm pretty sure it's called the Wonder Theater.
We don't know.
I'm pretty sure. It's called the Wonder Theater. It used to be an old movie palace. So it's like a really opulent, beautiful old movie palace, but it's way up north. Normally they do this at Radio City, so this is a little bit.
It is new. So they'll pick you up from your theater. They will bus you to the Tony venue, and then you will wait in a queue, and you will perform the entire show. So not your show, but you will perform the Tony performance, and they will get it camera shot for shot. It's a rehearsal, yes, but it's a recorded rehearsal. Just in case anything goes wrong tonight, they can go boom right into that rehearsal they're recording, probably right now as we're recording this.
But they don't have the winner certificates yet.
No, they don't do that.
Envelopes. They don't do the winner envelopes, but they do the announcement. They'll say, and the nominees are blah, 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 but they don't have the envelope. That hasn't been delivered yet.
So no spoilers. No one knows who's winning. But they do the entire show, the entire 2.5, 3 hour show. And then if you're doing a show that day, you'll go back to your theater, you'll take a break, take a nap, and then you'll get ready for your matinee. If you're not doing a show, you can probably go home and get ready for a call time later. Back at the theater, you get in costumes, you get makeup ready, and they bus you back to the venue, and you wait, you perform, and you leave. Now, if you're nominated, you perform and you stay. If you are not nominated, if you're an ensemble member that's performing with your show, you perform, you get back on that bus, and you leave. So Sorry. Just to demystify that, does everyone get to go to the Tonys? No.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a big question. Everybody's like, oh, you're going to the Tonys if you work on the show. Not. I work on the show. I've been working on the show for years. I don't get to go.
Not going. I didn't attend the Tonys when our show participated. And that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
But it's a great opportunity to introduce your show to the international audience and to boost sales. So the Tonys are very important. I'm glad that they are broadcasting them today in spite of the writer's strike. You know, I have mixed feelings about that because being a member of the union, we should stand in solidarity with all unions. But I think for the Tonys, it would be a huge hit for the Broadway community if we didn't have this performance tonight.
Yeah, I was reading an article in the New York Times about the importance of what the Tonys does. Oh man, it was crazy stuff I didn't even think about. The influence it has. It influences like the markets and who will buy a show, you know, for tours or regional theater, for community theaters, exposure to it for their audiences, and it's like really important. Because it's a way for people to see a snippet of these shows and they get an idea like, oh, that looks fun or that looks something. Yeah. Without that, they're just like, the marketing blast may not hit these certain people.
For me, it really hits home because for people at home who, you know, young kids and teenagers and even college students who are watching these performances and being inspired by the artistry on stage, it can be life-changing to see a performance and see someone like you represented on stage. And without the Tony broadcast, you may not be able to see those performances. So it's very important.
Wouldn't you believe it? The camera just all of a sudden shut off. So anyway, we're back. Before we go on to the next section, which is talking about the plays, which is our favorite topic of the season, I wanted to say my quick speech about Tony Awards.
Yeah.
And just to encourage everyone that I believe strongly that Tony nominations really are aligned with particular roles more than they are people or performances. Because if you can be a brilliant, most amazing actor ever, but if you're in the wrong role or a role that really isn't a Tony role, then you're just not going to see those nominations. You really need to be in a role that is like featured, that has like the show-stopping songs, that the story is relevant, that also it's like if you're playing a racist white man, you can be brilliant and wonderful and crucial to the story, but you're just not going to get the Tony Award. It's just not something people want to celebrate. But you're still necessary to maybe a story that's about, about that time. But more importantly, like if you're playing something that's more modern to what we're trying to deal with and topics that we want to talk about today, then you're going to have an easier time being nominated by the collection of people that want to celebrate that issue, but also your brilliant performance in it. So I just wanted to kind of say that to encourage you all that if getting a Tony is your dream, to not be too hard on yourself if you're not getting nominated in the future. You know, it's kind of like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
You got to have the right role. You got to be at the right place, at the right time.
Yeah. But I think more importantly for me, it's just about taking hold of every opportunity that you have. If you get a chance to be in an ensemble, be the best at your track, be the best for that role in that time. And if you implement those type of character development skills in you, then when you do get presented with a chance to do the Tony nominated role at the right time, right opportunity, right book, right musical, right play, then you will have all of this ammunition to do the best version of that role, as in you being cast in it. So.
And remember, we don't do this for the awards, right? We do it because we love to perform and that we want to change people. We want to change people's hearts and minds, and we want to illuminate certain issues. So you just have to keep it in perspective. It's not all about the accolades and the awards, right?
Yeah.
It's just a fun night to celebrate all the achievements of the entire season.
Yeah.
Before we go on to the plays, we should real quick ask you to, if you like this video, hit that like button and
hit that subscribe. And also, if you are a working actor or a person that wants to act and just needs to have a better audition book, check out Austin's audition courses on 32barcut.com/academy. He is giving you gems, all of the I don't know, the mystery of audition will be all those shades. Yeah, be demystified. That's the word. If you should look into his courses. He does have a free course for those of you who cannot afford to take the course, and he also has payment plans for those of you who want more than the free course but need a little time to pay it off.
Yeah, you know, I'm in these audition rooms, and I want you to succeed. I want you to book things. I want you to see the success and to really manifest your dreams. But you got to do the work. And sometimes it's not about just doing the work. It's about, what do? I just need someone to tell me, and then I can do the work. And that's what we're doing. We're telling you what to do. Now go do the work. Okay.
Yeah, and I find also that anytime I'm in class, that's when more opportunities come my way. I feel like I'm not just like jumping in a cold pool. I feel like I'm already in the water. I'm already swimming, and then here comes an opportunity, and I just go over there. So there's something about staying in class that really keeps you ready for anything and just in the mindset for anything.
Yeah, and you're taking a Shakespeare class right now.
Yeah.
So she's always taking classes. We're always trying to learn ourselves. So.
Yeah. Okay, so for the plays. So I didn't get to see all the plays. I missed quite a few, actually, but these are the ones that I did get a chance to see. So, Death of a Salesman, not new to Broadway at all. It's been done many, many times, but I had never seen a production of it, never read the play, and so I didn't know how depressing it was. But Wendell Pierce did an amazing job with the role. It is just really heavy and it makes you think a lot. For me, it made me think a lot about my dad and my parents and just working your whole life, and what does that look like, and what do you have to show for it at the end of it all. So heady and very heavy piece. Another heavy piece, because I had to see my girl Audra. I did go see Ohio State Murders, and if you thought Death of a Salesman was heavy, this takes the cake. It was a lot. It was a journey, but I learned something new, and so I'm always thrilled to go see things, even if they're depressing or joyful or whatever they may be. I'm always thrilled to go see anything because I learn by watching.
Yeah. We
got a chance to see this one together, Life of Pi. And if you've seen the film, it is very similar to the film. The story is still there. But man, to see it all come to life, to see the puppetry of the animals, to see the lead actor do his thing, like it was just a really theatrical experience. It was a very, very theatrical play.
Yeah, I really wanted to see it. I kind of encouraged her to come see it with me. And the lead actor was incredible. I mean, he was just, every time he was on stage, which was the whole time, it was just captivating.
Yeah.
And he was so in it. And it took me a while to get into it, to be honest. Like the first 10 minutes, it's just kind of like a little bit overwhelming and a little bit, you have to buy into the particular storytelling. It's like when you go to a puppet show and you're like, this is puppets. It's very like, but once you get invested in that form of storytelling and you just kind of buy in, then you're in. And the lead actor helps with that. Without this lead actor, it could fall apart, but he's just so in it and so captivating that it was really beautiful.
He was really awesome. And I did do a puppet show for over 3 years. Because there's puppetry in The Lion King. But it's done so well that you do forget that they're there, I think. Okay, so now we're getting into my favorites. Yes, I am biased, but these are my favorite plays that I saw, that I got a chance to see of the season.
I just saw it too. I see your favorites, and they're all Black stories, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I don't know why he would expect anything less.
I didn't mean that with their favorite. I just meant that on Broadway, that's really cool. Some of the best plays.
Yeah, some of the best plays were these. And yes, they are all Black stories written by Black playwrights.
Ohio State Murders and also Death of a Salesman was starring in Black.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's great for Broadway.
So first, Top Dog Underdog. Now, don't sleep on rush tickets, you guys. Do not sleep on rush tickets, because you just might get a rush ticket that puts you in the front row center of a play called Top Dog Underdog. So I went with my friend Crystal. We had a great time. And the story is, Susan Laurie Parks, the story that she's telling, this sibling story, this Cain and Abel type of story, was just amazing. I loved it. I'm so glad I didn't miss this play. The performances were amazing. I don't know who's winning tonight, but in my mind, everyone's a winner, because it was just an amazing play.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And I got to see it the invited dress, which is something that happens sometimes when you're here in New York. You get these opportunities to go see an invited dress. And invited dresses are always tough for plays because the rehearsal process is truncated. It's usually pretty shorter than musicals for sure.
Yeah.
So they're just getting their bearings, but already 2 brilliant actors. So.
Yeah, and brilliant direction too by Kenny Leon. I got a chance that he also directed Ohio State Murders and Top Dog Underdog, which is just thrilling to do 2 plays in the same season and have them both be recognized. But great direction by Kenny Leon. Speaking of some more great direction, LaTanya Richardson Jackson directed Piano Lesson, and let me tell you, Austin and I, if there is an August Wilson play production happening near us, we just have to go see it, because we're never disappointed. The work is there. The work is on the page. And then just gratefully so, the casting always just delivers as well. And so I really enjoyed the production. You've got John David Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Trey Byers, Danielle Brooks. And so I just loved it. I thought it was great. I was entertained. I was moved. I was angry. Like, I felt everything I needed to feel. And I had great seats for that as well. But this next show is definitely, or this next play is my absolute favorite of the season. I had zero expectations walking into it, and I left feeling moved, changed. I just loved it. And that is Ain't No Mo. Written by Jordan E. Cooper, directed by Stevie Walker Webb, both nominated. And it's really an ensemble piece. Everybody up there was giving everything all the time. And it was just a wild, wild ride. I went with my friend Benita. We laughed, we cried, we grabbed each other by the arm. It was just amazing. And Crystal Lucas Perry, who was nominated for Best Featured Actress in a Role in a Play, she was stunning. The versatility of everything she did with that role, I've just never seen it done. And so I really think she's going to win tonight, and I'm really excited for her and for this season and for this opportunity. I'm excited for everyone. Yeah. It is such a glamorous and beautiful, wonderful time. So
yeah, really exciting, and some really amazing plays. And like I said, a really great season for Broadway. You know, there's a lot of great Black stories being told. Yeah. That's important. And like the one play that's not in there you didn't see is Leopoldstadt, which is a Nazi German.
I wanted to see Leopoldstadt. I went to see A Doll's House. I went to see I think it's pronounced Prima Facie.
Dollhouse. Which that's a good chance.
Yeah, A Doll's House, Jodie Comer, and Prima Facie. I wanted to see everything, but I just couldn't get there. So, I have a couple more weeks to see a couple things, but Doll's House closed last night, so that's done. But lots of great performances this season.
Well, thank you for watching our Tony video. Oh, we're so excited for tonight. We're just gonna.
We're gonna have the popcorn out.
There's some parties happening tonight, so maybe we'll make some appearances at the Tony parties and the Tony after parties. We'll see.
Yeah.
So it's just an exciting time.
Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining us in our Tony enthusiasm. I hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. And, just continue to do your best and break legs in all your endeavors. We're rooting for you always. And if you got a chance to see any of these shows and you want to chat, just drop down below your favorites of the season, your favorite performances of the season. We would love to get a read on what you think, too, and how you feel about Tony season as well.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.